Welcome back to the deep dive. This time we're tackling a question that's fascinated thinkers for centuries.
Yeah,
What makes a leader?
it's a big one.
And we're diving deep
Oh, yeah,
into a research article you sent our way.
that's right.
A sociogenomic perspective on neuroscience in organizational behavior.
A mouthful.
But it unpacks so much about what makes a leader.
And it really flips the script
Mhm.
on that classic nature versus nurture debate.
Oh, that's where things get really interesting.
For sure.
So this research argues that framing leadership as born or made is just too simplistic.
Way too simplistic.
It's not about picking sides,
Right.
like, are you team nature or team nurture?
Exactly.
So how do we think about this then?
Well, think of it like baking a cake.
Okay.
You need the right ingredients,
Okay.
the genes,
Sure.
but the oven temperature, the baking time, that's the environment.
I see where you're going with this.
And it's equally crucial to how that cake turns out.
Oh, so you're saying both our genes and our environment are these key players in shaping leadership potential.
Absolutely.
Fascinating.
The research really dives into this concept called sociogenomics,
Okay.
which is all about how genes and social factors interact.
Sociogenomics,
Yeah.
I'll admit, the word itself sounds a bit intimidating.
It's simpler than it sounds.
Okay, good.
So genes don't just dictate who we are.
Oh, okay.
They're constantly responding to our surroundings.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a two-way conversation between our DNA and our experiences.
So it's not just about what genes we have, but how they're expressed?
Exactly.
Oh.
Gene expression is like flipping a switch.
Ah,
Certain genes get turned on or off based on those environmental cues.
right.
And that influences our traits and behaviors.
This research uses some pretty compelling examples from the animal kingdom to illustrate this point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The one about the blue-headed wrasse
Yeah.
really caught my eye.
The blue-headed wrasse.
Yeah.
Fascinating example of how dramatically the environment can influence biology.
Yeah, how so?
So in these fish communities, if the dominant male dies, a female can actually transform into a male.
Wait, they can change sex just like that?
It sounds wild,
Yeah, it does.
but it's true.
Wow.
The absence of that dominant male triggers a cascade of hormonal changes in a female,
Huh,
causing her to develop male characteristics
really?
and even change her behavior
Wow.
to become the new leader of the group.
So the social environment is literally rewriting her biology.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It really highlights how dynamic the relationship between nature and nurture can be.
Yeah.
And it's not just fish.
Oh.
Take orangutans, for instance. Subordinate males stay physically underdeveloped until the dominant male is gone.
Okay.
Once that happens,
Yeah.
they mature rapidly, all because their social status has changed.
It's fascinating how social cues can have such a tangible impact on physical development.
It is.
Like these animal examples make you realize this interplay is happening all around us.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even in ourselves.
Exactly.
So what environmental cues are influencing our own gene expression and in turn our leadership potential?
It's a great question.
That's a great segue to another key concept from the research.
Okay.
Epigenetics.
Oh, yeah.
I have to admit the term sounds a bit daunting.
Sure.
Can you demystify it for us?
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Your genes are the hardware.
Okay.
Like the basic blueprint,
Yeah.
epigenetics, is the software.
Okay.
The instructions that tell those genes what to do and how to express themselves.
So it's not about changing the genes themselves, but about how they're interpreted and used.
Precisely. And here's the amazing part.
What's that?
Our experiences can actually modify those epigenetic instructions.
Wait, so our experiences can actually change how our genes function?
You got it.
Wow.
There's a fascinating study on rat pups. Those who were licked more frequently by their mothers grew up to be better at handling stress.
All because of a mother's touch.
Right.
That's incredible.
It turns out that the licking
Yeah.
triggers epigenetic changes that influence the pup's stress response genes.
So even early childhood experiences can leave a lasting imprint on our biology,
It seems so.
potentially shaping how we respond to challenges and even lead later in life.
It really challenges the notion that our genes are our destiny.
It really does.
And that brings us to some exciting implications for leadership. So if our genes aren't fixed,
Yeah,
and our experiences can literally shape how they work,
right.
leadership potential becomes a lot more dynamic than we might have thought.
It's empowering to think that leadership skills aren't just something you're born with,
Right.
but something you can cultivate, skill
Absolutely.
up over time.
This research really opens up the door for a more nuanced approach to leadership development.
Okay.
It's not just about identifying individuals with certain traits,
Yeah.
but about understanding how different experiences can switch on those leadership genes.
So instead of asking who's a born leader,
Right.
we should be asking
Yeah.
what kind of experiences foster leadership potential.
Precisely.
Interesting.
This research suggests that we can create environments and design interventions that specifically target those epigenetic mechanisms we talked about.
That's fascinating. Are there any real-world examples of this kind of targeted leadership development?
Think about places like West Point Military Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Their rigorous training program has a remarkable track record of producing effective leaders.
West Point's known for its intense physical and mental challenges,
For sure.
but also for its emphasis on teamwork and character development.
Exactly. And while we can't say for certain,
Yeah.
it's possible that their approach is actually shaping cadets' brains
Wow.
and gene expression
Yeah.
in a way that enhances their leadership abilities.
That's an incredible thought.
It is.
It's like they're leveraging the power of epigenetics. Yeah.
To cultivate specific leadership qualities.
This research also pushes us to get more precise with how we study and measure leadership.
Okay.
Instead of relying on broad labels, we need to dig deeper into the specific behaviors and brain processes associated with effective leadership.
So moving beyond general categories like transformational leadership and looking at the nitty-gritty details of what makes a leader tick.
Exactly. Imagine being able to pinpoint the neural pathways or gene expression patterns linked to qualities like empathy, decisiveness, or resilience.
That kind of knowledge could be incredibly valuable.
It would be.
For designing more effective leadership development programs. It's like tailoring a training regimen.
Right.
Based on someone's unique biological and neurological makeup.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Really?
The article also suggests we can learn a lot from studying leadership in other species.
Like those blue-headed wrasses we talked about.
You're saying we can gain insights into human leadership by observing animals.
Absolutely. By studying the social structures and leadership dynamics in animals, we can gain a deeper understanding of the evolutionary roots of leadership. It allows us to strip away the complexities of human culture and see leadership in its more primal form.
So by observing how chimpanzees or wolves establish dominance hierarchies, we can learn something about the fundamental principles of leadership that apply across species.
Precisely.
It gives us a fascinating window into the deep-seated biological and social forces that have shaped leadership throughout evolutionary history.
I agree.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like looking back in time to understand where our own leadership instincts come from.
I like that.
But before we get too carried away with comparing ourselves to chimpanzees, there's one more important piece of this puzzle we need to address.
You're talking about the implications of all this for individual leaders, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been incredibly eye-opening, but I'm curious how these insights can be practically applied.
One of the most important takeaways is that leadership is more malleable than we might have thought.
Okay.
While our genes provide a starting point, our experiences play a huge role in shaping our leadership potential.
So it's not about being born a leader, but about becoming one.
Yeah.
Through the choices we make.
For sure.
And the experiences we seek out.
That's the key idea here.
Wow.
This research invites us to shift our focus from innate qualities to the dynamic interplay of nature and nurture.
It's both empowering and a bit daunting, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that we have this potential.
Absolutely.
But it's up to us to cultivate it. It's like we're all holding this incredible deck of genetic cards.
Yeah.
But it's the choices we make that determine which cards get played and how the game unfolds.
That's a great analogy.
This whole conversation.
Yeah.
It's really shifted my perspective on what it means to be a leader. It's not about waiting for some predetermined destiny to play out, but actively shaping our own leadership journeys.
And that's where things get really exciting.
Okay.
If leadership is this dynamic interplay of genes and environment, then we can start to think strategically about the kinds of experiences that will best cultivate our leadership potential.
So instead of just hoping for the best, we can actually design our own leadership development paths.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's about being intentional about the environments we choose, the challenges we embrace, and the relationships we nurture.
It's almost like a personalized leadership development program.
Yeah.
Based on understanding our own unique strengths and areas for growth.
That's a powerful way to think about it.
And it brings us back to the importance of those precise measurements we discussed earlier.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The more we understand about the specific behaviors and brain processes associated with effective leadership, the better equipped we'll be to create those tailored development experiences.
Exactly.
It's like having a roadmap to guide our leadership journey, helping us navigate the twists and turns and make the most of every opportunity for growth.
And as we continue to unravel the mysteries of the brain and how it interacts with our environment, who knows what other groundbreaking insights and tools we'll discover to unlock our leadership potential.
It's an incredibly exciting time to be exploring this intersection of biology, environment, and leadership.
I agree.
There's a sense of optimism and possibility that comes with this research.
For sure.
It tells us that leadership is not a finite resource reserved for a select few, but a dynamic capacity that resides within each of us.
Absolutely.
Waiting to be cultivated.
So it's not about asking, am I a leader? But rather, what kind of leader do I want to become? And then taking those intentional steps to make it happen.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And that's what I hope listeners will take away from this deep dive.